Patricia Reyes is a market researcher. She has recently completed a customer survey for Quartz Power Group and is presenting her findings to the managing director and the heads of department.
My name is Patricia Reyes, and I represent a company, Online Researcher. Some of you may have met my boss, Duncan Brockway, who is here to present our services and discuss the options of online market research. But for those of you who don't know about the background to the project, I'd just like to say a few words about who we are and what we do. Online Researcher delivers web-based market research for companies who want to base their future strategies on customer needs. I joined the company about 5 years ago after working in retail management and customer care, and my main area of responsibility is coordinating our surveys department, which specialized in getting accurate online feedback from customers. I have conducted the research for your company from beginning to end, so I'm here today to present you with the results of that survey. Now, to do this, I've divided my presentation into 3 parts. Firstly, I'll talk about the background of the research. Then we'll look at how we approach the research. And thirdly, I'll summarize the key findings of the research. So let's start with a brief description of the background. 6 months ago, your company found that there was an increasing number of customers in one of your company's 3 regions that were canceling their contracts within 14 days. There was also an increasing number of customer complaints in your call center. So the key questions our survey needed to answer were, why so many complaints and why so many cancellations? Of course, there were also some other issues that our survey needed to take into account. So essentially, the purpose of this survey was to answer your questions about customer numbers. I'd like to turn now to how we decided to approach the research. As I mentioned before, there were a growing number of customers who were canceling their contracts within 14 days. So it was important that our survey reached those people. However, in the same region, there were new customers who didn't switch provider. So it was important to include a cross-section of those people in our survey. So let's recap what I've said about the approach. We emailed the survey to 90,000 across the 3 regions and received a 4% response rate. Now, this is very good for this type of survey. We then analyzed those responses and compiled them in a report for you. And that leads me on to the 3rd part of my presentation, the actual results of the survey. Now, do all of you have a copy of the handout with the survey's findings? I know you probably haven't had the time to study this in great detail, but what I'd like to do is give you an overview of the results and talk about some issues for your customers. So those are all the key results of the survey. I hope you will be able to use them effectively. Well, I've come to the end of my presentation. I hope this has given you a good overview of the survey, both its methodology and the results. As I said before, you can study this in greater detail in your handouts, and I'd be happy for you to email me any further questions. So thank you very much for listening, and if you'd like to ask me any questions now, then I'd be happy to try and answer them. Yes.